Hey there, my name's John. This is In Air Outdoors, where I focus on the new North American Ranger, specifically the non-Raptor version. I happen to have a 2024 2.7 liter V6 XLT. The reason I chose the 2.7 liter over the 2.3 liter is mostly because I'm going to have a little bit of an extra load on the truck at all times. I have installed a Go Fast camper and it's gonna see a little bit extra load. And I think the 2.7 liter is going to be a better engine than the 2.3 for that. Now, every engine available for the Ranger is turbo based, and I'm just not comfortable with their 10,000 mile recommendations for oil changes. So my intent is to change today 2,500 miles, and then I will start changing 5,000, let them change at 10, I'll change at 15, let them change at 20. And I think this is just going to be a better option for this vehicle, for this drivetrain, to allow it to perform its best in light of that little bit extra load I'm going to have and the twin turbos. So hopefully this will just let my truck last a lot longer. And I'm also going to check the oil with Blackstone, kind of see what's going on with that to make sure there's nothing I can catch early to fix to keep problems from arising. You will need to collect a couple things to make this happen. Most of them are shown here. So ramps, I got these from Amazon. Wheel chocks, also from Amazon. Some sort of collection device, also from Amazon, and I do not recommend it. Funnel, which I found in my kitchen drawer. Don't tell my wife. You've got your oil. I elected to go with full synthetic from Kirkland. It seems to be a good value. It seems to perform fairly well in tests performed online from various organizations. And if you catch it on sale, it really is a superb value. And it does meet Ford's requirements. I've got my Motorcraft oil filter. This is different than past oil filters that I've ever seen. It's a cartridge style rather than a spin-on. And then I have a Ronin oil plug kit. I'm going to switch this out while I'm down there to make future oil changes a lot easier. You also need a 15 millimeter socket if you have the FX4 package to remove the bash guard. Don't know what the non-FX4 needs. I also, not seen here, used a small pick, gloves, paper towels, and some aluminum foil. So here's that Ronin kit. It makes it easier because you're not having to actually remove the full oil plug every time. You remove the gold cap and then you insert an additional object to loosen up an internal valve, which then allows you to control how fast the oil comes out. That cap also is barbed, so you can hook up to a hose, which is just going to make life a lot easier on me. It seems really well made. It's aluminum foil. It's got the same twist on that the yellow factory plug has, and then it also has a magnet in the back. So this is going to be going forwards, and I'm just going to keep an eye on it and hold on to the other one, if the yellow one, if I need it. So that's how you spin that on. And again, you can just attach a hose to it so you can put it right into a bottle, which is going to make life easier. If this is something you're interested in, there is an Amazon affiliate link in the description. It does include on the box how to get to the instruction manual, so QR code. And this leads to a website, which just goes over the instructions, and it's super simple. Basically, you pop the old one off, you pop this one in, making sure you have that wave washer in place. And as promised, I'm going to do a Blackstone check on my oil. So this is the kit when you mail off to Blackstone. You have an outer container, an inner absorbent mat, the white container you actually put your oil in, an oil change sticker, a bag, and then you have some paperwork you fill out. You mail the whole thing back to them, and a week or two later, they give you an analysis of your oil. So this is something I'm going to do, and I'll upload those results in a little bit when I get them. All right, as you saw earlier, truck's up on blocks, hood's popped. I'm going to pull off this bash guard. It's steel, I think. Using a 15 millimeter socket, there are 4 bolts. Just loosen the ones towards the front of the vehicle, and then you remove the ones at the back, and the whole thing slides back a little bit. You don't need to take them all out. In fact, it's going to make your life harder later on. So let's set this aside and move a little bit farther back to the actual drain pan. A lot of debris accumulated, so I'm going to get this out of here. We are going to talk about this little frame rail. If you notice, the yellow cap is right next to it, and oil is just going to splash all over it. So debris it, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take some aluminum foil and wrap this up, the frame nail. Others have also used saran wrap. It really is up to you. Once you get your oil collection device in the right place, let's open this up. And it does come out fast. This is a pretty big hole, which is why that Ronin device is going to be key going forwards for my sanity. Did make a little splash, a little bit of a mess. I'm going to clean it up later. Moving topside, I've already opened up the fill cap. I'm going to remove the filter holder. Now this is a vertical filter design, which does make it pretty easy. I do think this would be way easier if I had the appropriate size socket. I believe it is 27 millimeters. Instead, I use my Nipex pliers to just go slow and make it happen. Didn't want to damage the plastic bits of this holder. So really take your time here. Make sure you're not going to irreparably harm this where you won't be able to get it off in the future. And again, 27 millimeter socket, probably a better choice. Loose enough I can get it off by hand. So we'll pull it off the rest of the way. And then I also have my Motorcraft oil filter change kit handy next to me. And now, especially with this first oil change and really all of them, I'm going to look really closely in between the pleats, looking for any metal bits, any shiny things. You know, big metal chips are going to be a big deal. But this looks pretty good. Let's get a new one. Now, the kit you'll get comes with a slightly different appearing filter than what was installed. It doesn't have the big black end caps, but it slides right into the slot super well. Now, the other half of this get up is you're going to have 3 O-rings in your kit, a really small one, 2 large ones, and you're going to need to put those on the top side plastic bit. And this is where a little pick or a screwdriver is going to really come in handy, getting them on, getting them off. This can be a little bit of a struggle. And once you get the old ones off, we'll just set them aside, grab our new ones, make sure they're lubricated well with a little bit of the residual oil on my glove, and get everything set up to go back in the truck. All right, we'll put this back on and snug it up. Now, I, again, don't have the right socket, so I can't use a torque wrench for this, but I believe Ford spec is 18 foot-pounds. I'm going to make it snug and leave it at that. Probably going to find a appropriate socket to use for the next time, but for now, this will work. Back to the bottom side, put that Ronin oil drain plug-in I mentioned earlier. Super easy to fit, just like the factory yellow plug. And I do got some cleanup to do, but I'll get to that when I put the bash guard back on. And back to the top, a little 5-weight 30 from Kirkland. Again, this does meet the Ford specifications for oil. It's supposed to be decent stuff. I think Project Farm really liked it too. And when you get it on sale, which I think they do twice a year, you can do like 4 oil changes for the cost of one of Ford's. All right, I'm snugging this up. I'm looking for leaks, just making sure nothing's going on. And then we're going to do the priming procedure that Ford recommends. So both the brake and the gas to the floor, and then you turn the engine on. It does not actually cause anything to fire. It just spins everything up and moves that oil around. Now, I decided, since this is my first time doing it, I got out after the prime, inspected the engine bay and underneath really well, looking for any leaks, and then I did it again. And now it's time to clean up. I'm gonna wipe things down. You guys don't need to see this, but just clean up the mess, wipe things down, put that bash guard back on, snugged everything up, and sent off my sample to Blackstone. Stay tuned. We'll see what it says.
No roar!